Hi there makers, it is Jo here today and I'm adding to our pocket videos with a stretch patch pocket. We've got some videos that are already on our playlist and we're adding a few more for different pocket techniques. I'm doing a little update today because I think a stretch pocket is a pocket that beginners really struggle with because you can't control the edges and the corners, and I've got a few tips for you here. When I first started sewing, if anything had a stretch patch pocket on it, I would just leave it off altogether because it's particularly one of the patch pockets that if you don't get it right, it does look really bad. So there's a few tips for you and a few products that will help you get straight edges and right angles to your patch pocket. I'm just sewing a sample piece today, but if you're looking for a pattern with a patch pocket on to do a little bit of a practice or a try, then the Tilly and the Buttons Cocoa top and dress is a pattern with really striking patch pockets on the front. It's got a Hepburn collar, quite an open neck if you have it without the collar, and a gentle 1960s A-line shape. I've used this pattern a lot of times and now I'm really confident at putting on these stretch pockets. It looks great on a dress if you use contrast colour, and I've also added it to the top even though it's not part of the pattern, and I've put one here in a contrast colour, gives it a really nice seaside vibe. With a stretch patch pocket you're going to have to deal with the stretch of the fabric that you're applying the pocket to and the stretch of the fabric. So in this case I have to turn down the top of my pocket. I could use a method where I enclose the tops, but when you use a hemming web in the top of it, everything sticks down really nicely so you don't get any little bits poking out the corners. So this is a hemming web, comes on a roll. I've got a little odd piece here, and it's a piece of really light ethereal interfacing. It almost looks like a spider's web, and you put it between the fabric and then you apply iron heat. You can't put it just on one side like you do with interfacing because it's sticky on both sides. So for the top, you always have to deal with a patch pocket. You do the top first so then you can manipulate the edges. I'm going to use a twin needle today. That will give me a twin line on the top, and it kind of overlocks the back a little bit as well, where it takes the thread from one side of the needle to the other. It's just started thundering, so I've switched to a voiceover because it's really noisy. I've got the stitching on the top of the pocket, so now I can start to work on the sides. So I'm using the hemming web again. I'm folding it in half, and that's helping me to keep the seam allowance correct down the side of the pockets. You need to position it into place and make sure that the top is all folded down. You'll need a press cloth because if you melt some of this glue, it really will stick to your iron. Hemming web is permanent, so you won't be able to peel this back and try again, so be as accurate as you can. There you go, it's a little bit sticky there. You can see how straight it keeps the edge, so that's really useful, especially if you're working with stripes. Going to do the same to the other side. If you want to, it's easy to handle. You can just cut a strip of hemming web to your correct seam allowance. I'm happy folding it because I've used it lots of times. You can use an awl just to help you poke that end in and make sure that everything is in the position you want before you add the iron heat. That awl is just coming in really handy there at the end, and it's best to hold your iron down and try not to move it around too much and stretch it out of shape. Going for the same on the bottom. This time I've just turned the corners in because I don't want them to stretch and poke out at the corners. And that will make the bottom line as neat as the rest. Now I've got a square pocket, and you can just check this. So line it up on a grid. You can see it's straight there. It's got the same distance on the other side, a little bit of a dip on the top, but that's just because the fabric has stretched a little when I put it through the machine for the top stitch. But everything is held down and I won't need to have lots of pins when I put it on my main piece of fabric. You can't make a badly pressed pocket turn into a square pocket, so make sure everything is how you want it before you start stitching at all. Stretching and pulling it into shape under the machine will just give you that stretchy pocket that's out of shape. I'm going to use a temporary glue pen. I love using this. It's really great if you want to skip the pins and just concentrate on your sewing. When you put pins in, sometimes you just get little bumps and puckers. So for a stretch pocket, I'm going for the glue. Can have a final check to check that I've got that in position, because you can move that glue, so you could peel that back and adjust it if you wanted to. Okay, we're ready to sew around the outside. The end is important, so I've got a pin just in there, and that's holding in that tiny little ear that you sometimes get at the top, and I'm lining up the twin needles. You can also use an awl to control your fabric. What you're aiming for here is to let the fabric go through at its own rate, and you mustn't pull or stretch it. The hemming web will act as a kind of stabiliser. You should get as straight a line as possible. Again, that awl is coming in handy when I get to the end. I'm just making sure that the end is tucked in neatly. This is the end that I just tucked in. I did a really good job of that. Not quite so great at the start, because it's quite hard to make sure that that's all held in place. So there's two different levels of perfection to show you there, and the top stitching looks fantastic. It's got a little bit of give, but it's not going to stretch out of shape. The whole garment will still stretch, and your pocket will be stabilised across the top, but stretchy when you put your hand in. That's how you apply a stretch pocket. This is a rib knit, and this is a little bit more volatile because it's got more stretch on the width, so you can check your stretch percentages. In this case, you can use a stretch interfacing. It's stable in one direction, stretchy in the other, so you want the stretch of your interfacing to go across your pocket so that you can put your hand in and stretch and add volume to your pocket. It really helps to get the lines really straight. It stabilises that patch pocket. If you've got a pattern match, then you need to be really careful where you put it. You can check out our pattern matching pocket video here. Both the stretch interfacing might be useful for stretch pockets, or the hemming web, depending on the stretch of your fabric. For those who like to ask in comments, today I'm wearing a sorrel dress from Jennifer Handmade. So it's got grown on collars here, and it's made in a print called Lithic Lagoon, which is a really beautiful soft geometric print. I've added poppers to this one. It's in a base cloth called Eco Vero viscose sateen, so it's got lots of drape and it's really quite light. You could use it as a lining. It's thicker than a charmeuse. It's got a really smooth, slight sheen finish like all sateens. And it takes a little bit of handling, but it makes a really beautiful, luxurious feeling dress. Be ideal for tops and blouses too. Thank you very much for watching. I hope that's helped you out, especially if you're putting on a patch pocket or you've been leaving them out. And we would love to see what you've been making, so you can make a free account over at Minerva and share your makes there. You can add a photograph or a description, and it's a great way of keeping a sewing diary for yourself and checking out other Minerva makers and getting a little bit of inspiration too. If you want to see more videos, then head over to our YouTube channel where you can check out all the different playlists. Thank you very much for watching. See you again soon.